Welcome, everybody, to the formerly known as the Global Diamond Podcast. The Global Diamond Broker Podcast. With our new name, because of feedback that we got. Do you want to say the new name? Is that going to make you...
We are now called the Hard Truth Diamond Podcast.
Caveat emptor.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't speak Latin... Do you speak Latin?
Do I look like I speak Latin?
I don't know what someone who speaks Latin looks like.
I speak Vietnamese, actually.
But it's caveat emptor, and the translation of caveat emptor.
Buyer beware.
And, you know, the reason we've renamed the podcast is we get feedback and we hear stories from people all over the world of where they're getting ripped off in 2023 in the diamond business. And there's no need for it anymore. Nope. There's just no need for it anymore. And, you know, we get a lot of questions these days. And thank you for all the questions that people send. And obviously we listen and we try to provide feedback. And if you have any question, no matter what it is, please reach out. But one of the big ones we're getting nowadays, and it's kind of in the news, is what's going on with Russian diamonds, which is up to, you know, it's interesting, the, you know, lying media that we learned with Donald Trump. And I think any of us who are on any social media understand how you have to take, whether it comes from CNN or ABC or NBC or any of the news, or the CBC, which we're going to be talking about today. An article that came out there about misrepresentation in the jewelry industry, is the fact that everybody has a lot of subjective views on things that are completely not accurate. And so we want to take everybody backstage even further than we had. And in this industry that has been literally shrouded in this veil of secrecy, and we want to demystify things. And we're going to do that everywhere from the 4 C's to Russian diamonds to blood diamonds to what makes a diamond beautiful, which is pretty exciting.
And we're going to do that very provocatively. And audaciously.
Right. It sounds so much better when you say provocative
Why?
than me for some, because you're hot, I'm not.
That's not what you tell me every day.
Should we be talking? Yeah, but we can't say that on camera.
True. But we can now.
I am. What a narcissist I am.
I think people can read that off the bat.
But if you're a narcissist and you know you're a narcissist, are you a narcissist? Hey?
So why don't you ask yourself, Colin?
Anyway, so it's we're excited again. This is not the first time we elevated the podcast, and we're elevating it again, and we're doing it based on what we believe people want to hear. We've done extremely well with the podcast, and with all of our social media has been quite remarkable.
I know, I'm great.
You really are. That I can't joke about. You're amazing. And what we've been able to accomplish in a short period of time by providing, you know, the hard truth, I guess is what you would call it. You know, our clients who own diamonds all over the world. I mean, I was thinking of just this morning of how many countries and places we were on with this morning. We were on with Taiwan, where we're getting ready to ship pink diamond earrings for a daughter, a couple daughters actually. It's 2 pairs of diamond earrings for some 8 and 10-year-olds to Taiwan. And then where else were we on?
I wasn't getting those kinds of gifts at 8 and 10 years old.
We're focused on getting you a date with a reasonable guy right now. So, right, I'm thinking of, as a gift for your birthday, getting you access to a professional website where you can meet some guys outside of the current
conditions here in Vancouver.
Inventory.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's call
I'm available.
I'm okay. I'll pass on that. So I guess you can call this episode 1 and episode 40 all at the same time, right?
I guess so.
I guess so.
This is our 40th podcast together.
Holy shit.
What? Hey, oh yeah, we're allowed to swear on this one now because when
Yeah.
we make points, right? Like bullshit. Okay, there. Where else were we on? We were on with Brazil this morning with a new client we're speaking to over there who's looking for 18 carats of 10 pointers.
And those are small.
But it's
Very
18
small.
carats, which is how many grams is that? That's because there's
5
5 carats in a
gram.
gram. Aw, we haven't jinxed in a while, and it's our first episode. Hey, it's the hard truth. There's 5 carats in a gram, and each carat's broken down into
Smaller units of measurements called points.
and we think of them like
Percentage points.
25 is a quarter.
Yeah.
50s,
It's a half carat.
70.
Okay,
Beautiful.
we get it.
So
we
if we
get it.
have 18 carats, we've got 5 carats in it. It's math.
I can't
better
math.
do this one.
Yeah.
I better hit.
Yeah.
There's 5 carats in a gram, so that would be
Times 18.
3 and 2.
Fact checker?
fifths
Can we get a
and
fact
six-
checker?
I've got this. We don't need.
Can I call up a friend?
I think it's phone a friend. I don't
Whatever.
know. Okay, the game show, is that what
Yeah.
you're referencing there? So yeah, so we're taking you backstage into one of the world's oldest and most enduring industries, and now more than ever with everything to literally pull back the veil of secrecy and misrepresentation and completely demystify for our listeners the secretive and really until now exclusionary world of backstage in the diamond industry. Who wrote that? That's beautiful. Did I write that? Holy, that's good. Anyway, so let's move on. I know we're going to talk about, today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about what's going on in the news and what's big right now in the diamond industry, and certainly that pink that's about to, they hope, set a record to sell for 3.5 million US dollars per carat. It's a 10 carat.
That is crazy.
Crazy. What are they calling the stone in the media? It's the most vivid pink diamond they say there's ever been.
The pink star? No.
No, it's not the pink star. It's internally flawless, which is if you recall the 4 carat we recently shipped to Malaysia was a completely flawless, but
That
this
was a white stone.
is an internally flawless pink, and it's a fact checker. Are you on this, or what's taking so long?
The eternal pink?
The eternal pink. There we go. The eternal pink is coming up for auction. It's a Sotheby's auction. I'm guessing the auction, I know the stone is making the rounds right now. Reminds me of a few ex-girlfriends. That's so wrong to talk about, right? Is making the rounds right now, and I believe right now it's in Dubai for potential bidders to have a look at the stone firsthand there, and it will make the rounds. And from there, I believe the auction is going to take place, like so many of them do, in Hong Kong, which is an open free market where there's no taxes. And so that's exciting. Now, the hard truth is the fact that recently some pretty important pink diamonds have come up and not met the minimum. So I can assure you there's a lot of apprehension in the industry right now. This is a very, very, very special diamond, but there's a lot of apprehension. The economy with what's going on in the world right now, it's kind of a frightening time for not just the diamond industry, but for economies globally with what we're seeing in the global news and the economies. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm hoping it sets the record. We, as one of the first people in the world to be a direct distributor for the Argyle Pink Diamond Mine, I've always been a big fan. And by the way, it's a hard asset right now, which people flock to during
Right.
times of economic uncertainty. It is one of the great ones. It's a hard asset.
The mine's closed.
The mine's closed. They're
These
going
are very
up in value.
rare.
Argyle has had the forethought to really to secure their brand and their diamonds through the mine and through the website, so you can know it's Argyle, which is very, very important. And it's an exciting time in the pink diamond world, and so because the supply's been cut off, and I'm wishing them well. I hope the stone sells. It's an incredible diamond. It's truly a wonder of nature for a diamond to be this vivid pink and to be internally flawless due to how pink diamonds form, which if you're curious about that, you'll be able to go to our new website soon and see, because we're launching a much more comprehensive website in the very near future. So that's one of the things in the news, is that massive pink diamond.
Do you want to talk about the CBC article?
I was going to talk about Russian blood diamonds
Go for
first.
it. Go for it.
Because that's the note you gave me to talk about. I'm trying to be obedient this week so I don't get smacked again by you for being too far away from the mic, making comments that are... I wouldn't make any inappropriate comments, certainly.
Go for it. Take it away, Colin.
So, well, you know about Russian blood diamonds.
What? Why are you looking at me like
Well,
that?
because I had a little bit of...
Ugh,
Okay,
gross.
see? There you go. You just hit me.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so, but the Russian, what's a big thing in the news right now certainly is not just, and I am a tortured soul who sits around
We
and
know.
thinks about
We
these
know.
things, but not just the fact that the Russians have found a way around any embargoes against their blood diamonds for the war with Ukraine, but the fact that the U.S. is now no longer the threat to Russia that they used to be. And I mean, they have no power over Russia. So Russia doesn't care about U.S. sanctions. Russia's apparently no longer intimidated by the U.S. And so these blood diamonds are making their way into the marketplace. You need to know, I believe, we want our listeners to know, there is a way to avoid them. And
That is?
Well, it's interesting because the way they're getting around it right now, these are mine diamonds.
Don't they send it to cutters in like places like India?
That's exactly what
Yeah.
they do. And they say when this rough is
Cut.
but there's a technical word that governments use for it. It's kind of repurposed, I guess, when
Right.
it's no longer Russian blood diamonds because
Even though they originated.
but it's been so
Remade or revamped. I
So
guess you
we
could
go to
say.
great lengths to make sure that the mines and the cutters we deal with are not dealing with Russia. But having said all that, there's an even simpler way
To go lab grown.
is to go with lab grown, which so many of our clients are doing today.
Right.
It's for those ethical
Environmental.
purposes.
Yeah.
And look, we're not on one fence or the other here. We love them both. We believe there's a place in marketplace for them both. We will guarantee the provenance of our diamonds for our clients. None are coming out of Russian mines. You got to remember, I've had offices in Antwerp, Belgium for 15 years, buying offices and buying in the most prestigious places in the world, like the Diamond Bourses, and have been a member and, sat in the most exclusive places in the world. So we know where they're coming from, and they're not coming through us to you. But Russian diamonds are fully a third and probably more. It's been interesting since they've become the hot button in the industry that they are now because of the blood diamond aspect attached to it, because of Putin's lack of popularity here in North America and much of the world. Every time you see the supply, every week that goes by, it started off that they were up to 50% of the supply of the world's diamonds, and every
Now
week it
it's
gets lower
slowly.
and lower and lower as the industry wants to sell them and sell them and sell them because they need the supply. So it's been really interesting. So caveat emptor, buyer beware. All right, if you don't want them, and I wouldn't, and I don't want them for you, and I know you're very outspoken about, we can help with that as well. But that's what's going on. That's, I think, the two biggest things in the diamond news right now. And then Judy, the other day, came to us with an article that she'd read out of a
CBC News
the
article.
Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the government-funded, completely biased to the Liberal government here in Canada. And I'm unbiased, although my dad was a Conservative member of Parliament at one point. But again, as we live in the world, we can see most news outlets are biased one way or the other. Just have to look at U.S. politics. The CBC, what's the name of the article again?
Hidden camera reveals false claims some retailers make during diamond sales.
Hidden camera
Reveals
reveals
false claims.
Some
I'm sure
retailers.
it's all retailers, let's be real. But basically what they did was they had private shoppers from marketplace journalism go into these large retailers such as Michael Hill.
Let's not use names.
But they can see it, so
You're
I thought we were
just
going to
bitter-
be
you're
provocative.
You're
I
just
thought we
bitter
were going to be
against Michael Hill
provocative.
because of your mother's earrings before he understood the industry.
I
That's
know.
all.
Well,
Okay.
whether you have purchased from these retailers or friends or family, I'm sure you're familiar with them, and Colin doesn't want me to name them, so I won't name them.
Well, they can read them in the article.
Sure.
I have a lot of friends in the diamond industry.
You don't want to
Actually,
offend
that's
anyone?
not true anymore.
Yeah. Anyways, so they had these private shoppers go into these retailers and purchase, diamonds and diamond jewelry. And what they would do is send these diamonds to the GIA for...
Well, they don't actually say it's the GIA. In the article, they say a prominent, trusted laboratory.
a top laboratory.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And what they found was these written out appraisals that these jewelers were supplying to their clients were inaccurate.
Okay, so am I allowed to say it really what they are is, what's my favorite new word I'm allowed to?
Bullshit.
Bullshit. They're bullshit. And here's what people don't understand, that and this is the caveat emptor part of the show, is jewelers can say anything they want to
Because these appraisals are not legal documents.
about the quality of your diamond. They can put it on these. Remember, I always think whenever we start talking about this, if you walk, I don't care where you are in North America or the world, walk through any mall in North America during Christmas, the last few days before Christmas, and look at 80% off sales.
Yeah.
What the heck does that mean? Does that mean for the rest of the year you're paying 80% above
Markups?
right? Do you know what I'm saying? And it's because they can say anything they want. Like, think about some of these things. As soon as a diamond goes into a setting, you can't grade any aspect of it. So you walk into these jewelers, the diamonds are in settings, they can say anything they want, and they sure as heck do. I mean, imagine yourself owning a retail store in Pacific Center here in Vancouver. Is it still the Eaton Center? And the rents are high. It's an expensive place. And when you go into these places, you're paying for every other ring there. You're paying for their
Staffing
electricity, their
costs,
lights, their
yeah.
staff. It's amazing. It's like, I was thinking about this morning, and I made a note of this, because other than the diamond business, I really don't have a life anymore. And the reason that the jewelers will give you a money-back guarantee, we're the only company in the world we're aware of that offer two things. Number one, our money-back guarantee is for 90 days. It's for 3 months. But do you know why they, even a big national chain like Spence Diamonds,
What is it, like
which
60 days?
I opened their stores across the country.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to talk about, is what a stud I am in the diamond industry? And,
No.
hey, you didn't want to think
No.
about that, eh? That I opened I started in
Shudders.
sales, moved into management, became a manager with the company of stores across the nation, and never learned a thing about diamonds. But think about why they would only give a 30-day money-back guarantee. Commissioned salespeople. So if the person sells it, if it doesn't come back in 30 days, they get their commission. And so, again, often they're not worried about you, they're worried about them. Often in the diamond industry, you see this, it's like the 4 C's. It's not structured for you, it's structured for them. And believe me, think every time you hear one of these large jewelry store chains commercials, or watch their ads, or think about how much that's adding to the price of your diamond. And think of the pressure it puts on a company
To sell.
and to mark up. And now combine that with the fact that they can say anything they want. Caveat emptor, the solution. Why don't we talk about the solution a little bit?
Sure, let's do it.
What would you say is one of the first solutions? GIA, Judy.
I would say educate yourself and come to our Instagram and TikTok and learn so much about the diamond industry backstage. But another thing too is, why buy from a retailer? Why not go direct? Why not go with the broker?
Well, yeah, I understand your point. GIA, Judy. You're not getting the hint, eh?
The GIA.
Yeah, the GIA. So if you want to know the grade of your diamond,
Yeah.
you use GIA certification. Now you have another hill to climb there, which is, and the hill is around nowadays. Now think about this. This is caveat emptor. You have to beware, particularly on more valuable diamonds, it doesn't really matter, is diamond counterfeiting. What do we pay to have we could have her pretty little face. Does that sound condescending?
A little bit.
How
but
about
it's
beautiful face?
inscribed into
A
piece of jewelry for $15.
No, not a piece of jewelry.
Diamonds.
Invisibly inscribed like a serial number, which a lot of them use nowadays, and it costs $15. Where every stone has variables of thousands. So it's kind of interesting. So you need proper verification, which is another exercise we go through with our clients. And we don't want you to think this is complicated. It's not. But it's a consideration, because when you walk into a jewelry store, when you go online, you're not dealing with people who really know what they're doing. In 99% of the cases, it's people who they've hired to stand in the store, give the story, and hopefully make a big sale. So counterfeiting of certificates goes on all the time. It's a big, and here's another thing I'm going to say about these things that we bring up, whether it's Russian blood diamonds or whether it's, what were the articles? The pink diamond story, or whether it's a CBC. You'll be able to find the articles soon on our new website. We certainly, if you're on our email list and subscribe, you'll see the articles there when we email. What day do we email again? Is it Fridays?
Well, we just changed it. It was originally Wednesdays, but I think we're going to do it Thursdays now.
Thursdays now with the new
Isn't that
podcast. We're
right?
moving
Yeah.
we're changing the name and doing, yes, exactly. Although Christie's does it on Saturday morning.
But we don't have to be like the online retailers. We're different.
Well, we are different, that's for sure. So did you just go quid pro quo there and get me back? I think you did, right? That was good. Look, it's whether we're talking about that, we're talking about blood diamonds, we're talking about articles, we're talking about Brazil this morning, or we could be talking also about California this morning, where we're shipping yet another engagement ring.
Yeah, we're
this
busy.
morning. We're busy shipping all over the world. And it's interesting, one of the things I was also thinking about is, and by the way, we teach our clients to verify these things. We get them to do their due diligence, do their homework. This is what we're talking about with caveat emptor. Don't get ripped off. Do proper due diligence. Understand this. The process isn't complicated. It's simple once you know what the process is to protect yourself. Okay? And which is kind of our 4 C's that we're going to talk about here, of competence and credibility. Here's what this means to you in terms of that CDC article. It means you walk into one of these retailers or other retailers, they only did 3 and they showed them all, and they show you a diamond ring and they show you a value. And what happened in each case here is they said, well, here's what it regularly sells for. And they give you some sort of deal because they say whatever they want to say those numbers are. Here's another interesting thing. If you want to be an appraiser, across North America, and I don't know where else in the world, we haven't looked into this, is all you have to do is hang out a shingle, say I'm an appraiser, and start appraising.
Yeah, there's no regulations around it.
There's no regulations. It's crazy. It's a free-for-all. Not anymore. We're going to, we consider ourselves disruptors in the diamond industry. I almost want to wear a gun on my hip when I talk about politically incorrect.
Let's not bring guns into this.
Okay. But we're diamond disruptors. We're here to take people, to lift this veil back and to show you how really to acquire these things safely, securely, and to make it lucrative for you. And so that's what we're here for. That's this podcast, The Hard Truth. Caveat emptor, buyer beware, is what we're going to be moving on to from now on. And if you've got questions, if a jeweler tells you something and it doesn't sound right or you want to get clarification, please reach out. We are happy to give prices. We are the global diamond broker. I mean, we're here to broker diamonds, and yeah, Judy's right. We're busy. Things are going well, but we always have time. We won't take any more calls, though.
Why?
Right away, because we're too busy. We have to book appointments with people. You can't just call up anymore.
Okay.
Okay?
But you could make an appointment.
Or we might take a call. I don't know. Anyway. God bless. Welcome. Oh, what's coming next? Next week, we are going to take you on a little bit of a journey to the source of diamonds, where they come from, whether they're coming out of a mine or out of a lab. We're going to take you through that process, where the journey the diamond goes on, and how it ends up on the shelf of a jewelry store, and what the markups are every single step of the way. It'll be interesting because it's a lot.
I'm learning that for the first time today.
Are you really?
Yeah, I didn't know we were doing that.
Oh, you just got side?
That's
what
okay.
they call it? It's interesting though, right?
Blindsided.
Blindsided. I meant to put it on my list, but I think our buyers
No,
want
that's,
to know
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Right?
I think
Like
that's
the
a great
markups.
topic.
De Beers, the legendary iconic diamond company, used to have a commercial on TV romancing the stones, where they would talk about the fact that, did you know that your diamond could have been on 5 continents before it ends up on your finger? And, even as a child, I would think, holy goodness mercy, the markups must be crazy, right? It costs a lot to travel to 5 continents, much less spend some time there and have things done to you. Does that sound wrong? Anyway, you don't want anything done to you. You want to get your diamond, you want to get it at the right price, you want to get beauty, and you want to have confidence in the process. And that's what we're here to bring to you, I guess, at the end of the day, is the confidence in the process and how to acquire these things, and so you can understand the business.
Beautiful.
Backstage.
The hard truth.
The hard truth. What was my backstage? What did I say about that?
The what?
The exclusionary. We're going to take you to this backstage in the secretive and until now exclusionary world of diamonds. We got some good stories coming up and some interesting and educational things. We good?
We're all good. See you next week.
Take care.